Well, welcome back to the Arc Path.
My name is Bernard,
And my name is Casey.
and it is an average day here in San Dimas, California.
Average means it's like going to be 70 couple odd degrees in the middle of winter. And you and I both showed up in this place because we come here on a regular basis.
On
Is
a
that
regular,
average?
no,
No, that's
no,
not average. That's just Californian.
that's definitely
Yeah.
California. Yeah, but the average is um, the same thing that's going to happen today is what always happens.
Oh, mercy.
Yes.
And that includes the good and the bad, doesn't it?
And the ugly.
And the ugly.
Yes.
Oh, are we ready for that?
No,
No.
but
No.
we're live, so
Here we go. And so this normal that you address is accepted.
Well, it's expected.
It's expected. Oh man.
Yeah.
Where are we going today?
Well, I mean, community is the topic.
Yes.
And we celebrate community. We're in community with each other. We're in community with our spouses. We're in community
Yeah.
with our children. We're in community with all of you guys.
And the way we do community is often normal and expected. It's kind of routine. It's this game we play, and we really want to address the fact that sometimes we really undervalue what community can bring, and we cheat ourselves from what's available. Mm.
Wow, I'm
Did I go too deep too fast?
You went.
I want to get there. Come on. It's like I'm sitting in front of a amazing plate of food that's my favorite, and I want to dig in, and
you got to go slow.
we're
So
warming it up.
warming up. So my cup of coffee. So this is a fancy cup of coffee.
This is not a fancy cup of coffee.
Correct. So this one actually warms your coffee as you drink it. So it keeps it warm. But it's an amazing invention. So you turn it on, you put your coffee in it, and it keeps it warm while you're drinking it. But it has a problem. The more that you drink, the hotter it gets. And so when those last sips they actually burn your mouth because it's so hot.
This is a ceramic mug that does nothing like that. So what is the concern? Bring the connection point.
It's community. We build communities just like these mugs, and we pour ourselves into them, and we invite others to pour themselves into them. And sometimes they get a little too hot.
And then I'm going to bring the community analogy to my mug. There's 100 of them in the cupboard. And I really don't care about any of them. They're just there to serve me when I need it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I'm going there again. I just took a
We're
bite.
live. We're live.
I just took a bite.
We can't even take that back.
Just take a drink. So what you're highlighting in your mug is it was designed and created so you could enjoy your drink for a long time.
Yes.
At the same time as there's something about the longer you enjoy your drink, you slowly sip it down, it comes back and it burns you because you spent so much time there.
That's right.
My mug, on the other hand, doesn't have this special quality, which means I don't value it as much. And I just trade out mugs depending on what's available, what's clean, what do I want today,
Yes.
how's my attitude? Because I do pick mugs based on, that one represents me today. But what happens when that mug doesn't represent me for weeks at a time? I just walk away from that community. We got our toes in the concept here, and we recognize that community is not just a mug.
No.
It's a place of connection. It's a place that we go back to be known, to be seen, to be heard. We long for community, but we fear community at the same time. And so a lot of times what we end up doing is we create space so that if I want community, I can have it. But then I'm going to stay in control of what I'm going to actually, or how often I'm actually going to choose to go there.
Well, so that's again, Casey just jumping in deep. And I think we do create space for community, and it looks different in different parts of our lives. I'm going to take us on a slight detour. We're going to come back to that.
Please.
And the detour is, why isn't anybody talking about this? Why is it that your friendships, your relationships at work, your parents, your siblings, why aren't we talking about this conversation of community and how it's one of the most important paradigms that we have in our lives?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it. And it's just and what we do talk about is, you're dysfunctional. That's it. Do we have pills for that? You need to
Hmm.
adjust your attitude. Yeah, there's all this stuff that you have to do, and but we don't do it as a community because if if we're part of a community and we're
Hmm.
dysfunctional, guess what happens to the community?
It's dysfunctional.
It's dysfunctional.
Which I want to bring up. Why don't we talk about it? It's so much easier to gossip and be jealous than to actually talk about a community that we can create. So often we through the lens of jealousy, we admire and gossip about, wow, look at that community. Look what they
Mm,
have. It must be nice to be a part of Bernard's family. He's got a big family. They love each other. They're always together. They are, and we just pull out the highlight reel
yeah,
of what it's like to be in Bernard's family.
yeah.
And then somebody else is going to turn, oh, let's just talk about Casey's family, and we throw that highlight reel over there.
Yeah,
And jealousy and gossip is really what we look at. And then we look at, you know, I'm gonna take another bite. Are you ready?
I'm
We,
ready.
we look at the church. Oh, it's easy to gossip or be jealous, one or the other. My church doesn't do that as well as that church does,
Yeah.
and that's why we create this culture of church hopping, sheep stealing. I'm going down a rabbit trail,
We'll
experiencing community.
pull you out of that
Pull me out of
one.
that place. Let's talk about work.
Um,
Uh,
I like that.
let-
But I think what you said is important. It's
go for
just
it.
the highlight of why aren't we talking about it
Mm,
is because we're spending time. We've learned a language that is toxic. We just don't know it's
mm-hmm,
toxic. And
mm-hmm,
what Casey was talking about, this gossip and jealousy,
yeah,
that's what we transact. And for me, the conversations are transactional. Hey, I love you. That's a
mm-hmm,
transaction. I'm giving you love,
mm-hmm,
and but most of the time I'm giving you love, going, come on.
yeah,
Oh, okay. No love for you. I take my
yeah,
love back. No love for you. It's easier to gossip and be jealous, going, you know what? I gave you love once, never again. Now, what am I going to do? I have to
yeah,
transact with you. And I think community ends up being
yeah.
this conversation of judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, if I'm judging, do I really want to talk about
Yeah, you,
community?
you just said the word. I was thinking that now that you said the word, I can go there because I didn't want to go deep again. But there's a spiritual thread that I'm I'm contending with. I may be wounded. Can I say that I'm wounded? Am I allowed to be wounded and still be in community with people?
Hmm.
Um, in that community lens, it's quick to say, well, there's none of us are going to be unconditionally loving anybody.
Yes.
I put conditions on my love every day, even with my children. Because let me tell you, and now my children are older, as they're all out of high school, they're in college, and one's married, having a child. But there's conditions on that. If you speak to me a certain way, if you make certain choices, if you do certain things, will I still love you in some proverbial world? Yes,
Yes.
but I won't like you.
Yeah.
I won't want to be around you.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm going to discipline you and rebuke you until you change your ways. That's conditional. Here's where I was going with it. We're very quick to say, well, that's okay, but then we also simultaneously slip into this, but I'm not judgmental.
Mm.
No, no, no. I'm not judgmental. I'm okay with.
So let's be honest, guys. We all just judged Casey for what he said.
Thank you.
We just did.
Now you can have community with me.
Imagine like you because you that chord going, what do you mean you don't love your kids unconditionally? I've gotten myself in so many, I mean, talk to any mom, that's 50% of the population. That's it, you're done. We love our kids unconditionally. And then there's what
And
he
they
said.
better do what I said. And they'll do it because they love me.
Yes, but it is conditional. And we did judge Casey for what he said. The truth is, it's just we're all sitting in his shoes. We don't want to be judged. But it's a pattern of thinking. I think so we don't get too far off track. Judgmental
Hmm.
comes back to this concept of gossip and jealousy is as a conversation for us to engage each other about each other.
You're going to have to do that again.
So so we start with judgment. So we transact
Hmm.
judgment. I'm gonna, oh, look what you're wearing, look what you said, look what you did, look what he did, look what they didn't do. And so we transact this
Mm,
concept of judgment, but it's normal. We
yeah.
just said it's an average day in San Dimas. And so what we do, it's normal. Everybody does it. Let's watch TV. Look at all the drama on
Oh,
TV.
yeah.
It's the same concept. We transact. They transact to go, well, if they're doing it, it must be normal. So I can do it in my life. So it's become a normal pattern in society. to judge as a conversation.
Hmm.
What does that look like? It lives out in these concepts of gossip and jealousy.
Yeah.
And I want to get to the end so we can come
Please,
back.
I was going to ask for that.
No, and the end is we're supposed to talk about a loving community.
Mm.
And that's the end.
And what Bernard and I wanted to start with as we, and now we're swimming in it. The reality of community is difficult. And so should we just give up? Should we just stop and go, look, it's too hard to be in community. It's too hard to have this place where I get to be me and you get to be you, and I'm not going to judge you for being you. And that's why we walk away from community over and over again.
Um,
And today, Bernard and I are here to say we're not only not walking away, we're walking towards it, and we are committed to creating community that is authentic.
Authentic.
It's available. It's real. And yet we're doing that through a virtual platform to recognize that you got to start somewhere
Yeah.
because community is hard to find.
Yes. I agree with that. And we're not saying we're gonna build a perfect community. It's a
Mm,
community. It's messy, but the conversations need to be authentic. And are we going to achieve that every single time? I know, again,
hmm
I there's a lot of people that listen with ears going, yeah, but you said every time, all the time, and
hmm
the answer is no.
Yeah,
Community is something that it flows.
yeah,
It's based on what you said, how he reacted, what I did, and then it's a transactional. But is it authentic? Are you being true to yourself, to your thoughts, to your desires? And if some ugly stuff comes out, hey,
yeah.
let let's
L-
let's deal with it.
Let's, because we all got ugly stuff in us.
Yeah.
We all have ugly stuff in us,
Um,
and it's healing that takes place in true community because we begin to recognize when we return to community, I'm no longer hiding.
mm,
When we don't return to community, I'm running away from, I'm escaping, I'm living into something else. I don't want to go too far down that path of why we do that. I want to talk about three things that we believe need to be a part of this loving community that we're building. And we'll do each one a little bit at a time. But the first one I want to highlight is honor. It's there's a sense of honor in this community, and how we treat one another. Second one, which is a different direction, it's mentorship.
mhm,
There's a learning, there's a growing, there's an engagement. It's not just a static community. Um, and the third one I want to this one I'm not sure how we're going to touch into, but there's a multiplication of that community. There's power, there's growth. If I have something that's so amazing in community because there is this element of honor and this element of mentoring, it's going to grow. And I think that's the hardest part because a lot of times we say, "Oh, I just love the two of us being together. I just love the four of us together." I hope we don't lose it, and then we choose not to grow, and that's not community.
and I want to clarify, just in case it didn't come through, that multiplication is not quantity or increase in number.
Mm-mm.
It's impact. It's
Yes.
if what impact can I have on the world or my community? What impact can two of us have on the community? What impact can three have? And so
Mhm.
we don't need 10,000.
No.
We just it's but there's is this concept of if you do this well and I do this well, and if we do it well together, what is the greater impact
Yeah.
that we can bring to any community? And for me, as a business owner, I so understand the power of that,
hmm
but I also have the pain of different people coming together, going, um, we want to work together to a common
hmm
goal, but at the same time we're just going to fight each other.
Yeah.
And guess what happens to the level of impact? Diminished exponentially.
Yeah. I love how you drew the multiplication to the impact because the community itself, where it's full of this honor and element of mentorship, we're going to grow our impact, which is there's a sense that we're growing our community by the number of people we impact, but the community itself doesn't have to multiply in numbers
Correct.
to have a multiplied impact. It's
Yes.
beautiful. So
Yes.
let's go back to honor.
No, I listen. I started at impact, so we don't touch on.
This guy. Um, it's easy to measure
It is
impact.
easy to come on. Who doesn't want multiplication and
Yeah, let
impact? What a sexy, beautiful
and as
conversation.
long as the end justifies the means, who cares how we get there? Um,
Like you thought it was random that I started at number three. No.
oh, the community is beautiful, and I don't judge you,
Thank you.
nor will I gossip about you. I'll just send this live out to the world. But yes, that's often what we want out of our community is what's in it for me.
Yes.
What can I measure, and how can I do this? But honor,
Mm,
honor is beautiful. Honor is hard to measure.
yes.
That's the reality of why it's so contrary to where we're going to end is how do you measure honor? When I'm honoring somebody, I don't even have to be in their presence. I don't have to talk of them, but there's something about how I have a respect in my heart that is anytime their name, their thought, it makes me smile. If
Mm,
every time I think of somebody, I smile, there's an honor and a reverence I have for them.
mm.
What a joy would that be? Anybody want that community?
No.
Anybody want to be in a community that when your name is mentioned, the rest of the room smiles?
Wow. That's a nice visual.
That's
That's a nice visual.
sign me up, and I want
Yeah.
to I want to build that. I want to live there. I want to
Mm,
experience that.
I like that. I love it just when you're talking about honor and that reality, it's I got a interpretation of honor. It is it's a reality
Hmm.
based on life principles.
Honor based on life principles.
It's a reality. So
It's a
honor, the
reality. Okay.
definition of
The
reality,
reality of honor
right,
is based on life principles.
right. And I think
Mm.
the because all of us think we are honorable because we're basing honor based on our own life principles.
Hmm.
And so then people live out honorably based on their life principles, and then you look at the world around you, go, wait a minute, why is it a mess?
Yeah.
Because the honor system that lives in us is a mess.
Mm. I just want to pull it into if somebody's new to the art community and they haven't explored our 15 character commitments. The character
Yeah.
commitments that we lean into, it's about living above the line, which is about the arc path, which is this journey from acknowledging where you're at, what you're experiencing, to a kingdom moment that it may last just for a moment, but you can return to it and extend it. Character commitment.
Mm,
That really is those principles.
yes, I like
And
that. I
honor
like that.
honor is one of the character commitments is inspiring honor.
Yeah.
And so you can go watch that. Go search it in there. Do a little search in the ARC page and you'll find it. But um, as we are living by these principles, let's take that into the second concept of mentorship. Um, you mentioned that I don't have to be. There is no perfect community.
There's no perfect.
You're not expecting me to be perfect,
Correct.
but I don't think I should mentor anybody until I am perfect.
Mm,
I mean, isn't that a perspective that a lot of people hold?
too many, too many. And the ones that believe my way is amazing. Let me go mentor people in my way. It's the other side.
Mm.
You're going
Say
to
more. Say more of that.
well again the people that have the boldness to own mentorship
Mm-hmm.
are the ones that are and again I'm not using all I'm just using is just a lot of what I've seen is I've learned enough that my way is the better way. Let me go reproduce that in others.
Clarifying. That's the way that you're exemplifying the lack of honor through mentorship.
Correct. Well,
Yep.
you showcase one side where I'm. It's there's nothing that that I have that's worthy to be mentored and given away,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's this other side saying, "Well, wait a minute, I'm so amazing. Let me go mentor the world in my ways." And so
Yes.
that's the other side of it, and we're all waiting for the rest of the world to go this middle side,
Mm-hmm.
where go. You know what? Mentorship is a work in progress
Yeah.
because you're a work in progress and but not owning that initiative and not living through choosing desiring wanting believing that we need to help this new generation
Yeah.
and guess what guys we need to help the generation that came before us and you go well who are you talking to you That's it. If you have parents that are getting that are elderly, guess what your job is? The world has changed so much that you need to mentor them in the new world.
Hmm.
And if you have children or grandchildren, then what do you need to do? Mentor this new generation. And what happens if you have dysfunctional peers and family? You need to mentor them
And
in
and to do it without judgment. Oh my gosh. And the only way to do it without judgment is honor.
honor.
And as we do it with honor, I'm going to pull that thread that you started with in this element is it's mentoring is not about cloning.
Mm,
Okay, so if you're going to clone, make sure you're cloning with that which is perfect. Okay, otherwise it's just going to be a real problem. But we're not cloning here; we're mentoring, and every single one of us has the power to mentor.
yeah.
We can mentor the generation above us. We can mentor the generation below us because every one of us has a unique story. There
Yes.
is only one of you. There's only one person on this planet that has lived your story, that has learned your what you've learned. So take that one little thing that you go, yeah, I've learned that, and then pass it on.
Yeah.
That's mentorship. And in a community that is filled with honored and mentoring, where we are not trying to clone anybody, because my way is the right way. This is where we're saying, anytime that you think your way is the only way, um, beware.
Yeah.
And yes, you might have a nugget of wisdom and truth that you are passing on, but even if you pass that on, it's going to look different in somebody else's life. So you give that permission, that honor, that celebration, that mentorship. But when we get that right, what happens?
You get peace.
Amen.
You get peace. I think that's one of the fruits that community brings. Um, my thoughts, my emotions, my desires, my actions bring um, an up and down,
Mm.
and I think community changes that.
Yeah.
As I come into contact, as I'm up here and I come into contact with Casey, how's your day going? And I love it when we're not in the same place, because it's like, oh, can I sit where you're at?
Mm.
That's community.
Amen.
And and if we're both here, then we need to add to our community, and that's you.
And that's the multiplication we're talking about. And I'm going to expand peace to be peace, joy, and wisdom. Those are the three metrics that I love to measure in any community I'm in. Is there an increasing level of
Yes.
peace?
Yeah.
So when you walk in the room of community, does the level of peace go up or down?
Mm.
That would be hard. Do you really want to ask that question? I want you to ask that question.
Yeah.
And I want you
Yeah.
to recognize that if the level of peace, the level of joy, or the level of wisdom is going down, you've missed one of the first two elements. You're either not honoring the room, where
Yeah.
you step into the room and you go, wow, what a privilege it is to be in this room.
I love that.
Or you're not coming in with something to contribute. You're not mentoring. You're just taking. We want to be givers in our community. And then when we step in that room, we get to multiply the peace, the joy, or the wisdom immediately.
I love that. I love that. Well, it's another average day on the arc path.
Yes. Normal.
Yeah, it's conversation, it's community, it's connection, and ultimately it leaves, where we're headed, where we standing in. It's a kingdom mindset that there is a better way, and there's a path to a better way for every single one of us, but there's a better way for all of us to be in community together, and that's really at the heart of
That's right.
what we're after.
And what we're after is community. I mean, I'm just going to go all the way back. Like, oh, I thought there was going to be some new element. There are five lenses that we look at on the arc path. Community is the one we want people to touch first. As they come and encounter community, we need to prioritize it. So we need to bring the honor. We need to bring the element of mentorship, and we need to bring this multiplication of peace and joy and wisdom. And you're invited. That's the key. We can't do community without other people.
Mm,
It doesn't have to be a lot of other people, but there's this concept that two or three are gathered, you've got community.
yes.
Guess what? We've already got community, but there's room. So join us for team building. Okay, join us for group coaching, a new experience that's coming through that we're recognizing. This is really where the mutual mentorship realm of business-minded individuals go. I know something, but I don't know everything. So let me sit in a room with somebody else who knows something that doesn't know everything. and then let's see what we learn and grow on.
Mm.
Join us on more podcasts. We're glad to be with you right here today.
Yeah.
Where else do you want them to join? Anything else coming to your mind?
You know what? It's just different celebrations. What are you celebrating in the world around you today? I think as a byproduct of community every day, it's our personal growth and development and connection lives out in celebrations.
Yeah.
So what are you celebrating? And if you live close to the San Dimas area, join us here at again where we do the podcast at the Design Center. It's an amazing space for community, and we want to know, what are you celebrating? Come celebrate with us. Come share what you're celebrating, and because that is the ultimate expression of any community, is what is it celebrating?
I love the invitation because we want to celebrate them.
Yes, yes.
We're celebrating life. We're celebrating love. We're celebrating community. We're celebrating that we're on a journey, and we invite you on a journey of a lifestyle path of better choices. The ARC path is available for you. Thanks for joining us today on this little engagement of an episode where your life is better when you're surrounded by people who honor you, mentor you, and increase your peace, love, joy, wisdom. The list goes on. God bless you today. Have a great one.
Yes.